Recently, the Marshtown Police Department has seen a rise in the amount of marijuana candy in the area.
Marijuana candy is could either be a hard candy like a Jolly Rancher or a sucker or some type of candy similar to that. One of the key components is the THC oil, which you will find in the marijuana plant. Marijuana candy is a problem because it's hard to detect exactly what it is. It looks like normal candy. Someone who will see a piece of candy just sitting on a table, a small child or something like that, won't know that it's made with the illegal substances and can ingest that and then suffer the side effects of being under the influence, which makes it difficult for not only parents of small kids and teenagers who get in possession of this substance, but for law enforcement to be able to determine just by sight whether or not it is in fact illegal. Certainly if we receive calls that there are parties going on, now we're going to be paying more attention to candy that is sitting out in the open, especially if we find other paraphernalia to support the fact that there is illegal drug use being used. We will look to see what types of candy is there, perform field tests on it to be able to see if in fact it is an illegal substance. Don't, by all means, do not sample it or taste it if you find it suspicious. A lot of times it's going to come with either a plain wrapper, which should be a cause for concern, or if it is properly packaged from out of state, then it will list the chemical mixture, and you will see the THC or the cannabis oil as a listed ingredient, and that is certainly enough suspicion to contact us and have us come out and seize that property.
If you see what you believe to be marijuana candy, contact the police department. Reporting for McTV News, I'm Bobby Lyons.
I'm here at the slam poetry performance at NCC, so let's check it out.
Just to remind them that we are not afraid. With our skinny arms held high to the sky, pushing the clouds away from the sun to help them see more clearly that we are not afraid. We, in torn canvas souls of shelter, punk rockers and b-boys, young and old, in head wraps and baseball caps, dreadlocks, mohawks, and mullets, toss-stained yellow teeth and bracelets, ripped t-shirts and hoodies, whether written in craft or in cursive, you will read the words of the smoke of our peace pipes that we are not afraid, that we are not afraid.
Okay, so can you two describe slam poetry to us?
Slam was invented in the mid-1980s by a construction worker named Mark Smith.
So what?
Who was just a dude who was tired of going to boring open mic poetry readings and feeling like the audience didn't have a say in what was going on the stage, so he invented the slam, basically as a mechanism to get people interested in poetry. So a slam is a venue where poets are judged on a scale from 1 to 10 by 5 randomly selected judges from the audience, and the winner wins the slam, the loser loses the slam, but at the end of the day, it's mostly just about the poetry. And they have national competitions, international competitions, all kinds of different things like that. We were lucky enough to win a nationals 6 years ago.
That was 6 years ago.
Yeah, like 400, 500 some odd poets, 72 teams from across the world.
Destroyed them.
But, you know, also been on last place teams and had a lot more fun on the last place years. So it's mostly just about telling stories and having a good time.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, how did you two get involved with slam poetry?
Wow. Together, individually, we came to it differently, but we found each other through actually arguing over a classic piece of anime from 1988, Katsuhiro Otomo's Akira. So that's how we kind of bonded through nerdy stuff, and then we got to talking about video games and comic books, and
writing poems,
and that was it. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
It's a love story.
That's awesome. Now, is it more about the slam, or is it more about the poetry for you two?
Poetry.
Poetry, period. Absolutely. It's about connecting with people. Yeah.
Aurora doesn't need you, Katie Couric. Long after your cameras stop rolling, we will still be here. My high school in your background. Yellow tape around the block of my second apartment. We are more than just another town plagued by terrorism, school bullying, gangster rap, and video games. We are Aurora.
David, they told you to swallow your pride, and you are louder than this. You are ruckus. You are opus, so shatter the silence and proclaim yourself. Turn up your volume knob so loudly that they never forget, and hand the world your name like it was a gift. Your spine, straighter than a ship's mast. Chin held higher than full sails. Static, crashing like waves breaking against your bow, the bullets of their lips firing, but missing with every shot.
We're so glad to have the dynamic duo here at MCC. It was such a great performance. Reporting for McTV News, I'm Melissa Hall.
Hello, I'm at the MCC Art Gallery where John Devlin is showing off his latest talents in ceramics.
I've been doing pottery since 1970. I was a teacher over at LDF, then East Marshall, and so I only did it in the summer times when I had a few weeks off. And when I retired 7 or 8 years ago, I decided to do it full time. I have 2 galleries in Iowa that handle my pottery. One is the Perfect Setting on Main Street in Marshalltown. The other is the Octagon Gallery in Ames. My mom, who after my dad was unable to work due to illness, she was able to support the family through her art and eventually got into ceramics, and then invented the process that I use to put the leaves and grasses in the wet clay, and it gives the finished piece a fossil effect. And I've been doing that, I guess, for quite a while now. I probably sell either more mugs or bud vases. My larger pieces get to be a little pricier because of the time it takes me to make them, and so I don't sell as many of those, but it seems like I never have any mugs on hand. I have to make them when somebody wants one. And
we did just recently pick up our new canine. Officer Eric Siemens has been selected to be the next canine handler, and he's going to training up at St. Paul, Minnesota with the police department up there in March. And we were fortunate to be able to get the dog a few weeks early so he can get acquainted with the dog and get to know the dog a little bit. But the dog is not working. It's had very little training. So right now it's basically just living with Eric, and they're getting to know each other. This program has been supported by the public overwhelmingly, and we really sincerely appreciate that. So we were able to get the dog. Our fundraising is continuing because we're going to have another canine retiring in the near future. AWOL is still working, but has some health problems. We also are in need of a canine vehicle, so we have some fundraising needs. Now, many people ask me, why isn't the city paying for this program, or why do we have to do fundraising to support this program? And I got to tell you, I agree with some of the comments that I hear from folks, and the city has started to step up and is putting money in our budget to be used for the canine program. But up until this point, we just didn't have any money in the budget. So if we were going to keep the program going, we needed to do the fundraising. So we really appreciate the support that we've gotten from the community. I have just been amazed at how much support the community has for this program. And thanks to everybody in the greater Marshalltown area, we've been able to keep this program alive.
Well, we're here today with Kelly Farrell-Pfeiffer and Megan Farrell to accept a check from the estate of Charles Farrell for $300,000 to benefit the MCC Foundation and scholarships for MCC students.
On behalf of the Farrell family, we'd like to give you the bequest from Charles Farrell to the MCC Foundation.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Our dad was a huge believer in education and really pushed us our entire life to strive to be educated and become more educated, and he felt very strongly about giving back to the Marshalltown community and Marshalltown Community College in particular.
Charlie was a strong board member, not only with his generosity and especially now after his death, bestowing this great honor on the college, but he was in the trenches with us working. We have the Iowa Barbecue Society for a number of years, and he didn't just sit back and not sign up for things. He was right there working with the rest of us.
Charlie and I were not only board members together, but we were also friends, in which even over a glass of wine or those type of things, Charlie would impart on me his passion for MCC Foundation and giving and making sure that students had proceeds to get through school and whatnot.
And I was fortunate enough to receive the full tuition and fees scholarship for the 2012-2013 school year here at Marshalltown Community College. And I'd just like to say, on behalf of myself and my family, we are very grateful for the opportunity. It's not only allowed me to obtain my education the first year financially burden-free, but it's also kept me here in this community, and it's set me up to achieve higher things at a four-year institution. So I just again like to say thank you.
I'm here at the Marshall County Courthouse where the county supervisors are here today to make a decision on the pay raise for elected county officials. The raises proposed to Marshall County elected officials last month were cut by 92% by the Board of Supervisors during the Tuesday meeting. The supervisors took the recommendation of the Compensation Board into consideration, but cited a tight budget as to why they cut that much of the proposed raises.
Someplace along the line.
But how can I grant, somebody, we'll just go with the high figure, 15% raise.
You can't figure the percent.
When we got people out there, in our county that are not getting a 15%.
You don't want to settle this.
Compensation Board Chair Tom McCoy said the county elected officials are not paid what is fair in comparing their salaries to other working in similar-sized counties in the state.
So I would submit to you, ma'am, sir, and anybody else in the audience, how would it feel if you were underpaid for 10, 12, 15 years? And then, everybody says, oh, you just need a 1% raise. They've been underpaid. These offices have been underpaid for years. All we're trying to do is get them to equal and fair. Thank you.
Thank you.
Several members of the public spoke out against the proposed Compensation Board raises.
You have to aim for more spending.
Yeah.
But you guys don't have to follow that recommendation.
No, we know that.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. I thought you said we didn't understand.
And if you understand how the law is set up to lead us down this primrose path to self-destruction, then follow the wisdom that resides in this this board here.
And then one of my sons is an engineer out of state, and I called him and said, what's your company doing? And they had 0% last year because they were told it wasn't the best year they had. So I would like more money too, and I certainly understand anyone that's elected would like more money. But I also think we have to think about the taxpayers and how our budgets are at home.
3 elected officials, Comanches, Williams, and Heil, spoke in favor of the raises in an attempt to bring them up to what other counties are paying their elected officials.
This is meant to be an adjustment based on the failure of the Board of Supervisors to hold true with its own comments of willingness to do that. That's what they've done. Charlie, they have. And that's the bottom line on it. So all I'm saying to you is I firmly recommend it, I admire you for what you're doing, sticking to your guns, but I think people need to understand that. This isn't just a matter of making a lot more money. This is making a matter of trying to bring parity into it. And I think the citizens overwhelmingly in this county understand that because they've seen that and they've gone through that.
Me as a treasurer, I work hard. I try to save your money, the little bits that I can do within my budget. As a public review, I'm proud to say, my first year, we moved the motor vehicle up to the courthouse. That saved about $30,000. This past year, in our new budget we just did, I cut $41,000 out of my budget. I'm very proud to say that I've done that as treasurer.
The sheriff is ranked 23. The auditor and recorder's position is ranked 30. If you factored in the recorder's position and the auditor combined, it's a whole nother story.
Supervisor Dean Adams put out a motion to accept 50% of the recommended raises, but it failed for a lack of a second. In the end, the supervisors approved a fraction of the proposed salary increases. Attorney Jennifer Miller will receive a raise of $1,040, Auditor Recorder Don Williams a raise of $560, Treasurer Jarrett Heil a raise of $640, and Sheriff Ted Comanches a raise of $480. That's all from the Marshall County Courthouse. I'm Ashley Salgado reporting for McTV News.